Hi, and welcome to the evening show with Ben Ferguson. I'm Ben Ferguson. This is my assistant, Charlie. We want to kind of start the show a little differently tonight. We're going to bring you behind the scenes and kind of show you how everything works and looks behind the scenes, show you the green room, all the people it takes to come up and produce a show like this. So we're going to go around to get Dominique out of her dressing room, and then we'll walk down the hallway and say hi to everybody and start the show. So let's go right around here. Hey, Dominique.
Dominique's already in hair and makeup.
Dominique's in hair and makeup. This is Kayla. Say hi, Kayla.
Hi.
So let's go down. Dominique's already, sorry about that. She's in hair and makeup. We're going to walk through here. And here are all the guests this evening. We have Jorge Riverol. We have Bill Egan. We have Tony. We have Jordana. And this is something interesting, too. We're doing our first live commercial tonight, and right over here is the set that we have. It's a breakfast table set, and you'll see it later on in the show, but we have a Nicholas and Ming Ming Holden, and we have Ivy Bahaney, and they're just rehearsing their lines, last-minute lines. So that's kind of fun, huh? Let's go find Dominique. There she is. All right, Dominique, we're all set.
Oh, fabulous. I'm ready.
You want to come with me?
Absolutely.
Let's start the show.
Sounds good.
And we have Joseph. Hey, Joseph.
Hey, Joseph. Thanks so much.
Welcome to the evening show with Ben Ferguson. I'm Dominique Samario, and tonight Ben has a very special show featuring Jordana Lawrence, director of old-time radio shows at Carpinteria's Plaza Playhouse Theater. And wait, he's also got comedian Jorge Riverol. But first, please help me welcome the star of our show, Mr. Ben Ferguson.
Thank you, Dominique. Thank you all.
Hello, I'm Ben Ferguson. I'll be your host tonight. I just want to first of all thank all of you for showing up and all of you out there who are watching it. My job basically is to try to come up with 30 minutes of entertainment, and I think I did that tonight. I think we have an incredible show. Dominique just mentioned of all the people that are going to be here. And I want to make a special thank you to Jenny Schatzel. She was on our last show, and she invited me down to her facility downtown on Salsa Puertas and Gutierrez. So if you get a chance, go. I went down there. She welcomed me. She introduced me to everybody. I've gone 5 times now, 5 different boot camp hours, I guess you'd call it. And I just got to tell you, not only does it get you in shape rather quickly, but it does something to your mind. It gives you a level of awareness that from here to there. It strips away your limitations. One thing I noticed that it really, really sharpens your intuition. Like the other day, right after class, I was sitting in the corner. It was kind of quiet, and the voice came to me. It was very, very strong, and it just very clear as a bell. It said, Ben, never, ever, 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 ever eat white bean soup the night before exercise class. That's what it said. You guys can laugh at that if you want. You don't have to. Speaking of white bean soup, I was at Whole Foods the other day, and I like Whole Foods. You know, if you're ever walking around downtown, you got a little too much money in your front pocket, go see the nice people at Whole Foods. The people are great. The food's great. I went in and I got my groceries, and I went through the checkout stand, and the girl has brought the shakedown to a whole new level, and I wasn't ready for this, but she said, would you like to help save the planet and donate $1? And I thought, well, I love the planet. I mean, I'd like to help save the planet, but I've just given you all my money. I don't have $1. So she looked at me and said, so you don't want to help save the planet? You don't want to donate $1? And I'm like, well, now I got the people behind me, and they're looking at me like I just dumped a bunch of toxic waste in like a kiddie pool or something. They're looking at me like I don't care. I do care. I just look at you. Took all my money. You took my last $50 for $50.10 because I opted for the bag, but you took all my money. So anyway, that happened. I walked out of there that night, and I was a little upset. I mean, I went home, and I put my food away. Didn't take long, and I sat there, and I thought, remember Jenny Schatzel? She would tell me just to sit and meditate, and so I did. I sat there. I took deep breaths, and it happened. The voice came, and the voice came to me and said very clearly, next time you want to go shop for food, go to Trader Joe's, buy your food, and then drive over to a Whole Foods and give the lady $1. That way you can eat, save a little money, and you can save the planet. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We have a wonderful show. Let's get it started. We also want to welcome back our musical guest, Mr. Joseph Barbosa.
Thank you, Joseph. Joseph Barbosa, ladies and gentlemen. He is really good. I want to thank you for coming out and being part of our little behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely.
We tried to get you in the dressing room, but you'd already gone.
You know what? You just do what you're told on these sorts of things, but you found me, and that's what's important,
I didn't
right?
want to tell you about it. I kind of wanted to surprise you.
Well, you did a good job because they just pulled me out and said, "You sit here." I said, "Absolutely."
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. I know that you're going to be having a baby in a week or two.
Or maybe 3. I don't know,
Really?
but yeah, soon.
So we might
soon
have,
on
maybe
his
we'll-
agenda, maybe.
Right. I know you're going to something special tonight. We might have you next time, maybe not, but either way, it's
If I have to take a hiatus, I hope you'll welcome me back.
Yeah.
So.
Listen, I mentioned earlier in the monologue about Jenny Schatzel.
Okay, so I have been meaning to ask you this.
Yes.
I'm holding you accountable on air to all of your fans out in the universe. Did you ever go to the
Did I ever
class?
go? Oh,
And
not
did you
only
survive
go-
it?
well,
I mean,
first of
really,
all,
it's
if
did
look-
you survive
If you
it?
look back at the last show, when I mentioned that I was going, you kind of gave the smirk and this laugh like I wouldn't be able to finish it.
I mean, I don't think
So
I
that
really
alone
meant
helped me
that.
get through the first day. But I went, I signed up. I've gone 5 times.
No way.
Yes, the first time,
Wow.
I don't know how I got through it, but I did get through it because they brought a camera. We'll see more footage of that next time. Next
Okay,
show.
good. You have to show
But
them.
it was. I was about to drop, and I looked at Jenny. I said, "How much more time do we have?" Really, literally about ready to fall, and she said, "We only have 30 more minutes." So, but I.
So
did
you
it.
were like
I got
halfway
through it.
only, and
I
so
got
you
through
stayed
it.
for the whole hour.
I stayed for the whole hour,
Wow.
and then I couldn't do much for the next couple of days. In fact,
not important.
I went to a movie. This is no kidding. I went to a movie, and I sat in the theater, and I had my Diet Coke here, and I could barely grab it. I'm doing one of these. Finally, I got the thing, but it took me 3 days, and my goal was to go every other day, and that's where I am right now.
Are you
Every other
serious?
day, yes, I'm doing it.
And do you feel good though? I mean, sore but good. Sore
I
but
feel
good.
I feel incredibly good. Like I mentioned,
awesome.
in the monologue, everything's different now, mentally, and the limits are gone, and yeah, we can have
I
fun
love
things
that.
to look forward to.
That's
I
so
know
cool. Yeah, that can help me get back in shape after the baby, right?
You don't have a yes. Come
yes.
down.
Okay.
Come down.
Got to do it.
What's going on with this?
Okay. So, I think I have a sight problem because
what do you
I
have
think
here?
I'm wrong. I'm like super golden white.
I'm golden white too.
Okay, that one I'm like golden gray. I don't know. I mean, they're different. Each one's different.
I'm golden white, and then blue and black.
Yeah. A little bit blue and black. I think I might have
No,
a
I think
sight
we're
issue.
right.
I got 20/20 though.
Somebody
Apparently my color's off.
at work told me that this was blue and black, and they were dead serious.
That one right there.
That one was blue and black. And
Wow.
that's what the whole thing is. Hey,
Changing my world.
I know you haven't been doing many camping trips or anything like that.
Not camping, hoteling. You know.
I have a couple
Trying
of
to live
pictures.
the good
and
life.
I just wanted to kind of surprise you with this.
Oh,
I don't know if you'll
even
be
know
happy
what
with this.
is.
So tell us about this one.
Okay, this is super cool. Good girlfriend of mine drove all the way up from Los Angeles because she's obsessed with Ina Garten.
With Ina Garten.
Barefoot Contessa.
Right?
And I definitely said, I'd love to go. I've never even heard
So
of
we
her.
got this on
But
the
it was
photo,
fabulous. Oh my God.
Ina Garten is the only lady on the Food Channel that
That
no
is
matter
not me with the face cover.
No
I
matter-
swear to you.
no matter what I'm doing, if I'm watching it, it's like a horse whisperer. I just sit there and I love the show.
So I just love performances at the Granada. And so I said, yeah, I'd love to
is
go.
the
I'd
Granada,
never
I know
heard
it.
of her. She was fabulous.
You never heard of Ina Garten? Wow.
You
Do you
know.
think you want to watch it maybe on TV?
I mean, maybe I'm going to now.
Yeah.
I definitely bought the cookbook.
Honestly,
I'm an
out
easy
of all
sell,
the
you know,
shows,
obviously.
whatever she cooks, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm just sitting there and I'm just kind of, everything's okay. It's like meditating with Ina.
And you know what, coolest thing? She apparently, according to her, discussion, she comes up with all those recipes and is super engaged.
And she has her
it's
husband,
amazing.
Jeffrey, and she brings
Yes,
him on.
who she really likes and
Yeah,
loves,
yeah.
and I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So now I've still never seen the show, but I'm a fan.
So it's okay if I learned how to do screenshots the other day. So
Look at
I know
you.
how to take photos from
This
Facebook.
is a little scary because this
Little nice.
means I don't know what Ben's bringing to the show. But next time, final thing, I think we need Ben Ferguson faces. I'm just throwing it out there.
Let's do that.
Let's
We
do
did-
it.
Last time you threw something out, you got it. Remember that?
Yes,
Remember the
yes.
onesie with the
Yes,
We'll
see?
do that.
Faces.
They're kind of wrapping us up later. Keep us up to date. Let us know what's going on.
I absolutely will.
Dominique.
Hopefully you'll have good news on the next show.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. Well, good morning, Julie. You look a little tired this morning.
Whatever.
Excuse me?
Julie,
Don't forget to come straight home after school so we can finish hemming your dress for the dance on Friday evening.
Ain't going to no damn dance.
Julie, you take a bite of this candy bar at once.
Yes, Mom. I'll come home right after school. I stayed up late watching the evening show with Ben Ferguson.
He sure is a funny guy.
That Ben Ferguson sure is a fine man. And funny, too.
Yeah. And his co-host is going to have a baby. I sure like her.
Yeah.
So does Brian.
I do not.
You too.
Oh, kids, everyone likes Dominic. She's a very likable lady.
Dominique, Dad. It's pronounced Dominique.
Dominic is the maitre d' at Luigi.
Okay, Dominique.
Dad,
Yes, Brian?
where do babies come from?
It's just Mother Nature's way of reminding women that they're ladies.
That's not what Julie told me.
Brian.
You two need to hurry up or you're going to miss the school bus. Away, please. Jordana and Bill.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming. I know you guys have rehearsals tonight, and I'm kind of cutting into that, but
That's all right.
but-
We're doing this for a good cause.
yeah, as I mentioned during the monologue, there's some real heavy hitters here tonight. I mean, both of
Absolutely.
you, you're at the top of the game as far as acting in Santa Barbara, and you as well as far as directing.
Directing, not so much acting.
Not so much acting, but you're directing now. You're directing
Yeah.
Sulphur Carpinteria Plaza Playhouse Theater. Yeah, and I didn't mention earlier, but I'm actually in the first weekend.
You sure are.
I'll be playing 3 different characters. So we've had some rehearsals, and I've been the only one that's kind of messed up. But I told you, I promise you that'll change. The night of the show.
Absolutely.
But the actors are amazing.
They're doing a really good
Yeah,
job. And
really good.
I think we're having a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And this is a fundraiser for the Plaza Theater, so that makes it a little extra special.
Yeah.
And we're enjoying that because it's good for a good cause.
Right, and Osa Olsen and Hannah Hickok, they're involved as well.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're like
They're in it as well as I kind of think of them as producing it. So they're kind of overseeing and putting it all together. And
Osa's doing the sound effects, correct?
she's doing some of the sound effects. We do have somebody else coming in to help out with that because Osa is also acting.
Right, and it's
So
not
they're-
just, it's a play where there's costumes. I mean, people are dressing up for their character, but they're kind of coming in like in the 40s. They're coming into the studio, and
We're
there's a little acting involved.
There is always a little acting
Right.
involved because we're kind of doing it as if we're actually back in the 40s and 50s.
Right.
They're coming in to do their work and putting on these 3 different shows.
Right.
Because each weekend there's 3 different shows for each weekend.
Right. Bill, I just saw you in 154 in Paradise.
Yes.
I went to the opening night. And,
Yes,
and
we
I had-
appreciated that support. Absolutely.
I hadn't seen you. We talked to Ivy Vahaney and Peter Frisch earlier on a previous show, but
They mentioned
unbelievable. I mean, you guys were just really something. These are the real professional actors. I mean, the ones that know what they're doing. So I've been to a lot of plays lately for some reason, part of the show. Really, really, really good ones. And then this particular one at the Plaza Playhouse, now it's on the 13th, 14th, 15th, and then
It ends on the 22nd.
Second.
Ends on the 22nd.
So 20, 21st, and 22nd.
what I was going to say is it's extremely good. It's really good. So if you've been to a play that's been, well, this one is really good. So please come out and see us. I'll be the first 3 weeks, the first 3 days, and then your team takes over the second.
That's right.
The second part.
That's right.
But I wanted to ask you real quick. Your parents have been in the motion picture business for a couple generations, haven't they?
Actually, yes.
And it was a Carliner. What was the gentleman that you worked for?
Oh, Mark Carliner.
Carliner. Now he worked. I read that he worked. He did The Shining in the '80s.
Yes, I think he was producing that, but he did a lot more television. He was a producer for television.
So were you with him in The Shining, or what kind
No,
of
no,
TV?
no, no, no. My parents had created a show, and Mark Carliner was the executive producer
show
on the
was it?
show. It was called The Phoenix.
The
It was
Phoenix. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been around this business all your life.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, and Bill, you've written, directed, you've acted, you've produced, you're kind of done it all as well.
Yeah, I'm down about 20 years so.
What made you decide that? Did you just call on these people and everybody comes when Jordana calls?
Not quite.
We have a committee. We're on the board, the play selection committee of the Plaza Playhouse. We did it last year, so this is a returning thing. It went over very well.
Right.
A lot of people just love the fact that this is not a format that's done very often.
Right.
And takes people back to kind of yesteryear and that period, but it's unusual where you actually have the visual component of people walking into the studio, but also having the great voices, and people just love the Foley sound effects and seeing it live. And it's,
the sound effect, that's my favorite part. You guys remember the Frasier show a while back? They had an episode where they did that and they popped balloons, and I just love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
that's part of the fun. That's why we're all looking forward to doing it.
We have Philip Moreno and we have Ming Holden. We have Neil Israel. He's going to be part of it.
He is going to be part of it as well.
He's the one that wrote Bachelor Party. You guys remember that back with Tom Hanks? That was his movie, and he's going to be in here as well. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to actually do 2 different scenes, right?
Right.
In front of the stage over there in just a couple of minutes.
Yep.
And I'm going to be doing one.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
going to be doing mine with Tony Maratti.
You are.
And he's been gracious enough to allow me to do that. We didn't do too well the other day in rehearsing, but I practiced. I practiced quite a bit since then.
That's the whole point. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. And Ivy Vahanian for that commercial. Pretty big star, huh?
Yeah, Ivy's great. I've worked with Ivy plenty of times. She's fantastic.
No, I know that. She was in the 154, and I asked her if she'd play that in the commercial, and she said yes right away, and I thought that was so cool. I mean, she's big time.
Yeah.
And she kind of did this for me, so I appreciate that.
But that's nice. But that's what's great about Santa Barbara is that it's a small community, and we all pretty much know each other.
Right. And I'm starting to get in and get to know these, like Bill. Like after the play, I met him, and I'm really liking this. I like that. It's a much better quality group of people I need to hang out with.
Absolutely. So
I want to mention too, 13th, 14th, and 15th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7:30, Friday, Saturday, and 3 o'clock on Sunday. And the following week, the same thing. I'll be there the 13th, 14th, 15th, and then the really good crew will be the following weekend. So everybody come down and see it. I mean, I promise you it's an extremely good play. It's fun. We'll have noisemakers as far as the walking and what
gunshots.
Gunshots, yeah.
UFOs and all sorts of stuff.
Right, that'll be great. So we're going to go over and do a couple of the different scenes with some of the actors, and I really want to thank you both for coming, and I'll see you in rehearsal.
Absolutely,
and
tomorrow night.
Appreciate you both coming.
Thanks for having us.
Bill, Jordana, thank you very much.
After the performance, I endeavored to see Miss Latour backstage to see if I could persuade her to change her mind and let me examine the evidence more thoroughly. That is when I had my first brush with this Luigi person.
Hey, Pops, where do you think you're going?
Oh, well, they told me Miss Latour's dressing room was this way, and I...
Oh, a stage door John, huh?
Sir, I am Timothy J. Brown.
Well, Pop, you ain't ought to be creeping around these strip gals' dressing rooms.
Now, look, you don't understand. I must see her.
Oh, yeah? Well, get this. Nobody goes in there but me. Luigi Campanella, see?
Oh, are you Luigi the Lug?
What? Nobody calls that to my face, see? And if I catch 'em calling me that behind my back...
Oh, yes, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Luigi, I really am. But I have just got to see Miss Latour. You see, I want her to do her entire... routine for me, and...
Listen, wise guy, you better scram before I scalp that pointed beard of yours.
Now look, you don't understand, sir. I must see Miss Latour. She must do her dance for me.
Go on, creep, beat it. Out you go, and don't come back.
Well, I was desperate. She wouldn't answer her telescreen. I sent her numerous notes, which she returned unopened. And then one evening, just when I least expected it...
Hiya, Zork.
Miss Latour! Well, are you ready to continue with our experiments?
I ain't here for any experiments.
Well, then, why did you...
I've been practicing that space warp and hip wiggle in private, see? And I've been meeting all sorts of characters, but not the one I got a real interest in.
Miss Latour, if you have come here to...
Oh, I'm bored, Doc. Luigi's getting even jealouser. So I figured if I come back to the place I'd first seen Lancelot, then... never mind. So here's hoping he'll be there.
Oh, no. Oh.
Sweet boy, Lance!
Miss Latour, please don't begin that again. No. Miss Latour, please. Please, I feel I must warn you that.
Warn me about what?
Warn you that, that time and space are really fluid, as that ancient philosopher Einstein suspected back in the 20th century. You may not reach the same time-space continuum again. You may well wiggle yourself into the middle of a pharaoh's tomb, or perhaps even to the bottom of the Russian Ocean.
Oh, well, take my chances, Doc. Pretty good, huh?
I implore you, Miss Latour.
And now, Lancelot, honey!
Get along there, you critters. Say, you one of them play actors, eh?
Actor, my good man, I have been privileged to read the bard's immortal lions in some of the world's finest theater.
Yes.
Aren't we all actors? All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts.
Yeah, I know. I saw a fellow one time in a vaudeville.
Vaudeville? Oh, it offends me to the soul to see a robustious periwig petty fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of groundlings.
What's that?
Hamlet, third act.
Oh, say, ain't you kind of off your range up here in Quartzville? Only stage up here is the Opry House, and it ain't...
For your information, I have been summoned to this provincial hamlet in order to lend my art to a charitable cause.
Charity, eh? Oh, you must be talking about that benefit show for the widows, the children of the miners who got caught up in the blast at the White Hole.
That is correct. Mr. Martin Finchley was in Tucson yesterday, where I and my company of players are temporarily resting between engagements. Upon his request, I consented to appear at the benefit.
Yeah? But that's too bad about them poor miners. Now, I knew most of them personally.
Isn't there still some hope of rescue?
Mighty slim. Young Miss Clark, she owns the White Hope since her pa died last year, has got every man in town working on the cave-in.
How about the miners who work for Mr. Finchley?
Yeah, they're helping too, but it ain't much use. Dirty shame, that's what it is. You know, Paul Becker, young fella Miss Clark was going to marry, he's down there with the rest of them.
Ah, the uncertainty of life. As Shakespeare so wisely wrote in one of his deathless sonnets, like as the waves make toward the pebbled shore, so do our minutes hasten to their end.
Whoa, you critters. Well, that's it, Mr. Hornblow. This is Quartzville.
You mean this? Oh, why, it's nothing more than a collection of benighted hovels.
Well, even so, it's where you get off. Now, I've got to tool the rig up to the barn.
Oh, well, the worst is not so long as we can say this is the worst. That's from King Lear, Act 4.
Yeah, I always say there ain't nothing worse than a ham actor. Yee-haw! Giddy up there.
Ham? Ham? Did that miserable varlet, that buckskin bumpkin, call Oliver Meredith Hornblow a ham? Oh, my feet. Nothing but gravel on this street, and me with no soles in my shoes. And another thing, I'm hungry. 15 cents. Well, doth not good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both? I'll find a restaurant. Ah, good day, my fine young friend. A sign in the window proclaims this establishment as the Busy Bee Restaurant. I trust you serve food?
Yes.
Good.
What do you want, Ham?
Ham? Ham, you say? Why, you young scoundrel of the skillet, you factor of the firkin, you dare call me a ham?
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to bring out our next guest. He's a comedian that I found at the Ventura Comedy Club about a year ago, and he was really funny. And I approached him afterwards, and he said that maybe at some point he'd be able to come to our show, and tonight's the night he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jorge Riverol.
Thank you. So, I've been dating a lot, as single people do. I mean, imagine I wasn't single. My wife would kill me. So, I was on a date the other night with this lady, and I don't know, I think it went okay. I could have maybe been a little better. I mean, we mostly talked about how she, at one point, was hit by a car and received severe head trauma. So, it was all about her. But, you know, I mean, at first I was like, but then I was like, you know, this is good. I mean, severe head trauma. That means I probably have a shot, right? I mean, no one wants to hear this. No one wants to hear, it's like, oh, well, I mean, I'm only at 60% brain capacity, but you know what? I still think I could do better. And I would be like, yeah, you're right. You probably could. Oh, dating is awful, you guys. I'm also losing my hair. I don't know if you could tell. Losing my hair is not the worst part. Is that my mom is so involved with it. She won't stop calling me like every day. She's like, Mijo, you got to take these supplements. You got to take some fish oil. And I'm like, Mom, that's not how losing your hair works. It's clearly that I have too much testosterone. And not in the way you think. Because of the testosterone, I'm just angry and sexually frustrated. I go, and then also it probably just falls out on its own. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys.
Welcome, Jorge.
Thank you very much.
Please have a seat. Jorge Riverol. Thank you very much for coming up here.
Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate it. How does one get a shirt like yours?
You start drawing from kindergarten up, and then you just don't stop, and then you don't have a social life.
When I met you the second time, you were with a friend of yours that was wearing that T-shirt of you, which was funny in itself.
Yes, that's true. He actually started doing it. He started doing it before I did, and we just wear each other's shirts.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
It's like we're all just advertising each other and ourselves.
Do you sell these online or?
No. You know what? It's very inner clique. I like to do the thing where I just want to make it look really good, and it's like, oh, I want one of those. No.
Yeah. Well, you've done it to me. Thanks. Tell me where you're playing. I know you're playing somewhere locally.
Well, I will be doing Flappers March 11th. That's in Burbank.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and then the 13th, I am doing a POI show at the Hollywood Hotel.
What's a POI show?
Performing under the influence.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it's a fun angle. You get.
How'd you know I was going to buy right into that? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you get really drunk.
Right.
And then perform, and then just see how it goes.
Yeah.
It's a train wreck live verbally.
Right. And then straight to Taco Bell and go home after that.
Oh, sure.
So you're going to be at Flappers and
Hollywood Hotel.
Hollywood Hotel.
And then Sunday the 15th, I am at the Comedy Store in the main room.
Comedy Store. Now this is in Ventura.
The Comedy Store is in Hollywood.
In Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you'll come back and see us in 6 months, 8 months, and tell us how things are going?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, Jorge Riverol.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.